What if I told you a bill filed this week asked voters to give politicians a blank check on, wait for it, taxes? Hi all, this is State Representative Stephanie Hein with a quick update for the week in Jefferson City. Here's what you need to know. During this week's State of the State address, the governor proclaimed he wants to make Missouri more competitive by eliminating the individual state income tax. Shortly after that speech, House Joint Resolution 165 was filed. This is the legislation tied to the governor's tax plan. At first glance, you might think, that sounds great. Times are tough. Who wouldn't want a few more bucks in their pocket? But here's the deal. The details of the plan were thin at best. And when you dig into the bill, it's clear the Republican tax plan could actually cost more for many Missourians, especially senior citizens who don't pay income taxes on Social Security and moderate to low income wage earners. So let's talk about what this bill actually does. First, it's important to know that HJR 165 would ultimately go to voters for approval. But what voters are being asked to approve really matters. The resolution does not include a plan to eliminate the state income tax. There's no roadmap, no timeline, not even a concept of a plan. Instead, it asks voters to give the General Assembly broad permission to come up with a tax plan later, after you've given us permission to raise sales taxes. And then it goes further. HJR 165 asks voters to roll back key protections currently in place. That would allow lawmakers to raise sales taxes without limits or voter approval, and to expand sales taxes to services. That's significant because Missouri voters have already weighed in on this. In 2016, voters passed a constitutional amendment specifically prohibiting taxes on services. They were clear, this is not something they wanted. HJR 165 would override that decision and allow sales taxes on any goods and services, even though voters already said no. So much for respecting the will of the voters. And let's talk about the math, my favorite part. State income taxes generate about $9 billion a year, roughly 2/3 of Missouri's general revenue. To replace that kind of money, sales taxes would have to increase dramatically. Some projections estimate that sales taxes would have to increase 1% for every $1 billion in revenue we would need to make up. That means higher costs at the checkout counter for everyday goods and services. There's a lot more to unpack here, and we are just getting started. This bill will continue to evolve as it moves through the process, and I'll keep breaking it down along the way. You can track the bill's progress at any time on the House website or at fastdemocracy.com. Thanks for watching. Stay engaged, stay informed, and as always, reach out if you have any questions or concerns. See you soon.